Hello again, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So I know that you just saw me a little bit ago, and the question is, how are you going to miss me when my face won't stop popping up in videos? I'm really sorry, but I just have so many awesome Earth Day stories that I want to read to you, just like we would be doing in the classroom. So here I am recording another video for you. I hope you don't mind. In today's question of the day was, have you ever recycled before? And to go along with that, I have a story that I would love to read to you today called Why Should I Recycle? So on Class Dojo, this will be just listed as an extra activity. If you would like to hear the story, I would love for you to listen to it. It has great ideas in here all about how we can recycle and why we should be recycling. So, if you have time this afternoon or this evening to sit back and listen to a little story, I would love for you to do so. Let's begin. Why should I recycle? In my family, we recycle our garbage. We return things so they can be used again. We didn't always recycle. We used to throw everything away. Look at how big that pile of trash is. Wowzers. On our way to school, we always pass Mr. Jones's house. Mr. Jones is our teacher. One day, we saw him putting a special box with cans, bottles, and papers by the gate. And she says, "What are you doing?" Make a prediction before I read this next page. Predict, what do you think Mr. Jones is doing with that container full of bottles and cans and paper? The box is for recycling. All these things are taken away and used again, Mr. Jones says. What's recycling? I'll explain at school. And look at the puppy. They're talking about recycling, but the puppy is hearing unicycling. This is a unicycle because it has one wheel. Do you think the puppy's thinking about the right thing? I don't think so. If you made a prediction, were you correct? Did you think Mr. Jones was going to recycle? In class, Mr. Jones asked us what we did with our trash. This girl says, "We put it in the garbage can." And this boy back here says, "It's just old garbage." Mr. Jones said garbage contain lots of useful things that can be recycled or used again. And she says, "Why should I recycle?" That's a good question. Let's find out. Mr. Jones took the class to a recycling center. It had separate containers for bottles, cans, plastic, clothes, and paper. "What do you think happens to all the glass that goes in here?" asked Mr. Jones. Have any of you ever been to a recycling center? That would be really interesting to know if you guys have ever been. "It all gets broken down to make new, shiny bottles. And guess what happens to all the cans that go in here?" asked Mr. Jones. Go ahead and make a prediction again. What do you think happens to all the cans that go to a recycling center? Let's find out if your prediction is correct. "They get melted down to make new metal things such as bikes and scooters." All the kids are saying, "Wow, that's pretty cool." "And what about the paper and plastic that goes in here and here?" Mr. Jones asked. Go ahead and make a prediction again. What happens with all of the paper and plastic? "The paper gets shredded up and used to make new books and comics." All these things come from garbage and we just throw away? "The plastic can be used to make all kinds of things, including clothes. You might be wearing some," said Mr. Jones. "So why waste?" That's a good question, huh? Why waste all of the waste? Most of the garbage we put in the trash can Most of the garbage we put in the trash can gets buried in dumps that spoil the countryside. It's good to recycle as much as you can, said Mr. Jones. So what else can we recycle? Look at this illustration. You see all those flies flying around, and it looks like she might be plugging her nose like this. Why do you think she's doing that? I think that it's probably because it might be a little bit smelly there. Clothes, books, and toys that you don't want can all be taken to the secondhand store, explained Mr. Jones. The food we buy at supermarkets come in packages that can often be used again. Don't waste, Mom! She's trying to help out, isn't she? I told Mom and Dad about our trip to the recycling center. Now we buy recycled things at the store. Recycled paper helps to save trees. We also recycle the plastic bags too. We brought our own bags. Thanks. How many of you, when you go to the grocery store with your family, does your family bring their own bags as well? That's something that I do when I go to the grocery store. We also recycle everything at home. Fruit and vegetable peelings get recycled on our new compost heap. The compost helps my mom's prized vegetables to grow. Now we recycle so much garbage, there's hardly any left to put in the cans. Recycling is kind to nature. It saves money and it's fun. And that is the end of Why Should I Recycle? So hopefully that helped you to understand recycling a little bit in preparation for Earth Day, that is tomorrow on Wednesday. And if you don't recycle or you're not familiar with recycling, hopefully this gave you some ideas, and I would like to challenge you for this week to find one thing that you're using at home that you can recycle. I hope you guys enjoyed that story, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.